All right, I'm going to call to order the Health and Wellness Subcommittee meeting at the Central Administration Conference Room. It's January 14th, 2026, 4:33 p.m. So my usual, I'm going to have everyone go around and introduce themselves. Rob, do you want to start?
Sure.
Even though you're a guest.
Yes, hi everyone. Rob
still...
Mezzanotte, Assistant Superintendent.
Allie Nasenzi, Equity, Belonging, and Community Engagement Coordinator.
Sherry Kennedy, co-chair and school committee member.
Mike Raposa, parent and youth coach.
Susanna Tingley, parent and nurse.
Karen Weatherall, co-director of Rhode Island Healthy Schools Coalition.
Colleen Schnack, school nurse at Stony Lane. Trish Cawley, North Kingstown Child Nutrition Services.
All right. We don't have any citizens' comments. And next is approval of the minutes from the December 9th, 2025 meeting. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, Karen, do you have any updates you want to share with us?
Yeah, let's see, just to go over some of the things, we did send out our e-newsletter, so if people haven't had an opportunity to take a look at it, there's a couple of great opportunities. I will say we have, for those who attended our breakfast back in October, our keynote speaker who spoke on the importance of health education and skills-based health education, we're now have hired her to do a deeper dive for health educators. So we have 4 sessions. I think the last time I looked, 2 of your educators had already registered, but it is free. We've divided it by elementary and secondary so that you're grouped according to grade level, grade span levels, and it's really getting into what are the strategies that you can use with your curriculum on how to make it more relevant, have more resources, and do skills-based assessments. So that's coming up in February. There's two options for the elementary and then 2 options for the secondary. We also, I don't know, let me just check here. We've kicked off our Recess Rocks Active Indoor Recess Week. And that was on Monday night. We had a webinar, and all this week there are schools, there are individuals from elementary schools that are participating and getting daily emails on games and strategies again to use when kids are stuck indoors and make sure that their recess is fun and that they're safe and doing fun things inside. That's happening. And then just wanted to mention, because I know there's been interest here at maybe several of your schools, but we're once again in the e-news was we're taking applications now for the Rhode Island Farm and Sea to School Network that will happen. It's a year-long program with a kickoff at the Bay campus of URI. This will be the 3rd year we've done it there rather than going up to Vermont, which the first few schools did, but it's a great opportunity for either a school if they're interested in really doing action planning and working with a coach and a group of other schools on a farm to school plan. So other things in there too, if it could be of interest, but that's just a few highlights.
On the health educator sessions, is there a maximum number that can sign up from each district, or?
No, there's a maximum number, and we're hitting it very quickly. I'm like
total.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I did talk about. We had some people register who will do community health education, and I think we're going to pull them out because it's really focused on if you're in the classroom and you're teaching in a school that is aligned with the RIDE health education framework. So anyway, all sessions are still open right now, but there is there's no limit. I mean, I can tell you.
Okay. So you're thinking, is it something more teachers would want? Or
Oh, it's definitely teachers.
Teachers.
It's for teachers. Yep.
Okay.
It's definitely for classroom teachers teaching health. And let me just look here, North Kingstown. You have 1 elementary school teacher at Forest Park and 1, Jonathan Quinn. So he's at, where is he now? He's at but is he the department chair? coordinator, okay, yeah, curriculum coordinator. So that's great that he's doing it and he is, also registered. Yep, but there still would be if others wanted to join. I have a couple, I've been carrying them around, but it's in the e-news, but this is
Okay.
a flyer as
Because
well.
I was thinking, Rob, maybe if
Mhm.
someone from the middle school, just so we'd have one from each.
Mhm.
Are you glad you came to the meeting?
Yeah,
I would email you anyway.
absolutely.
Yeah, just so you'd have each level, and then the information they probably can share out to all the
Yeah.
teachers.
It's gonna be an interactive workshop, but I think we are going to, I've had, several teachers already ask if it will be recorded. But we're even, as I think in a lot of professional development, you know, that there are questions asking the teachers, what's the skill that you could use help with, what are some of the, health issues that are most impactful, so she can facilitate the hour based on the needs of those teachers who are in the session. So we're really trying to focus on what are their needs, what are those units, or what are those skills, again, as we look towards a skill base rather than just focusing on, you know, this is the content that we're, you know, doing each day, what are those skills that you need to learn that you can apply to a number of things. So.
Yeah, I thought her presentation at the breakfast was really good. Like it was like activities you could do versus, I think kids rather do something than just talking or listening to the teacher.
and so some of that was for a wider audience, but she's got some really great ideas and again strategies to use in the classroom, and just to make it relevant so kids think, what does this have to do with my life? It's not just memorizing things and then regurgitating it. It's really how do you make it apply to them.
Right, thank you. And so I have Rob Mizanati's here to discuss just a little bit about the vaping education through the health curriculum overview. So through our policy, twice a year we need to have either the director of curriculum or obviously Mr. Mizanati's over the director of curriculum come and just kind of give us a little update. So I thought because we've been talking a lot about doing a project around educating on no vaping, that it would be good just to get an overview of the education that's going on in the health class and like what grades and sort of
Sure, yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so thanks again for inviting me. I'm happy to be here and talk about vaping. I think that it's important to understand vaping within a certain context, and that vaping itself, and specifically the topic of vaping, is a topic that is and ought to be directly taught and addressed. But also to recognize that vaping falls into a larger context of choices, right, and of awareness. And things that can manifest themselves in poor choices that kids often experience. So it's important to understand that teaching kids about, you know, recognizing good decision making and recognizing potentially circumstances or situations that can prompt poor decision making is really within the vaping education system. Because obviously vaping is a poor choice for a young person to make, and those choices come from somewhere. So it's important to recognize that and having that awareness that fits in as well. So really the continuum of vaping education in our school system starts at grade kindergarten. It starts at that level, and that's when we talk to students about within the health curriculum, My Great Body, which has to do with things that are safe and unsafe, and making sure to stay away from unsafe things, and pointing out that students need to be aware of like what medicine is and how you take medicine when you're sick and what the proper use of that is. That moves on to grade 1, which there's a health topic called Drugs Are Trouble, and again that's where students are taught things about taking care of their body, being loving who you are, only taking medicine from trusted adults. Understanding what smoking does to your body, what medicines are, again what street drugs are versus medicines to make you feel better, and that kind of thing. So and also kind of understanding actions and consequences. And in grade 2, drugs are dangerous as part of the health curriculum, and this has to do with again. Getting a little more specific with alcohol and nicotine, what they are, things that become habits. We talk about that with students, good habits, bad habits, things that we practice. Also just, how medicines are drugs too, and drugs can and medicines obviously do a lot of different things. Also, and talking about how smoking harms your whole body, and that kind of thing. So, and there's also a piece to that lesson about mentioning e-cigarettes and the truth about e-cigarettes. Is something that's
grade
brought
2?
up. Yep. In grade 3, saying no to smoking, drinking, and drugs is a part of the health curriculum. Again, it reinforces students understanding what drugs are, and again mentions e-cigarettes and talks about giving facts about what they are. It talks about the concept of addiction. It talks about laws that protect you, and that drugs and violence hurt all. So there's a number of things here that it gets to. And then it talks about decision making and making healthy decisions, and the difference between healthy decisions versus unhealthy decisions. So that's in grade 3. In grade 4, topic called Stay Drug Free and Build Your Assets. And it talks about assets being the positive influences in your life, and teaching kids to develop your assets in that way. The more you develop them, the less likely you are to be involved in poor decision making, like deciding to take drugs. And so students are learn about making an asset list, the things in their life that impact them positively. They talk a little bit about the pressures that can happen around you, pressures from friends and things like that. And they give little scenarios of, like, you know, maybe kids saying certain things and how to react to them and how to deal with maybe peer pressure. It gets a little more detailed too about getting into the real facts about drugs, like the name of certain drugs and then what it does to your body. And so students are learning about that. And it just gets a little more, again, a little more detailed about just the different purposes of drugs and the different good they can do versus obviously the harm they can cause. Okay. In 5th grade, this is where, again, name of the topic is Danger Ahead, the Truth About Drugs. And again, this is just a continuation, again, going into some vocabulary around this of addiction, drug misuse, drug abuse, stimulant, depressant, those types of things, students learning about those concepts. And it also looks at, you know, potentially trends that we're seeing with teens and struggles that, sort of statistics in regard to teen drug use. So that takes you through grades K to 5. In grade 7.
Can I just ask a quick
Yeah.
question? How much instruction, I know there's like, how much health instruction is there in elementary school? I know there's like a number or something.
So in each year, the students are given an incremental amount of time. It's like I believe there's like 2 weeks of instruction around in the health curriculum, where they take a break from phys ed and they learn the health lessons from the phys ed teachers, phys ed health teachers. I want to say that, but Pam, let me make sure I got that especially right.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like, whether that 2 weeks is segmental, like, is it all at this, like, we're taking these 2 weeks, or is it like a day here, a day there, a day there? I'm just curious, just gives perspective of
Yeah,
how much
absolutely.
how much of this is like,
Mhm.
yes, it's being covered, but
Yeah.
I
Of
know. I
course.
know in middle school, I think it's all, only because my kids are taking it right now, I feel like it's a block of time.
It
But
is.
yeah, I don't remember from
I don't remember
elementary
what
too.
it is in elementary either. And I don't know if all the schools do it the same way, or if there's like a different implementation. And it's all the gym teachers that do
Yes.
it, the nurse is not coming in to provide health, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that takes us through grade 5. Grade 7 is where students have a specific lesson on vaping and other tobacco products. What's the truth? And this is where students describe the negative short-term and long-term effects, physical effects of using tobacco, summarize the negative health effects of secondhand smoke, and describe negative effects of vaping, and summarize the personal benefits of being tobacco-free. So this is in grade 7.
So in 6, is 5 and 6 sort of similar?
Yes, 6 does not have a specific vaping topic in its in the curriculum.
Oh, but I
But
think the SACs cover it, definitely at Wickford, the SAC covers it in 6th grade. She does a presentation, so I think.
So maybe it's more,
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's more for.
I'm sure they do it at both.
that for the sixth grade. I think Christine does too, I just didn't ask her.
And then, and at the high school level in grade 9, that's where our student assistance counselor visits all of the grade 9 classrooms and takes part in what's called the Stanford Smart Talk curriculum, which is, it's a program where the counselor visits 9th grade health classes with the Prevention Education Series. And this is composed of 5 topics, and the topics are, a lot of it focuses on cannabis prevention. So one is full of potential, your brain cannabis free. Another is healthy body, healthy youth, effects of cannabis on the body. Then there's healthy people, healthy community, which talks about healthy community and surrounding, keeping community surrounding you in a positive way. Another one is the cannabis industry misleading youth? And that's exploring marketing tactics and messaging used in media. And then also, finally, it's Be Your Strength, Stress, Coping, and Wellness is a topic that's discussed. That's in the 9th grade. So as far as official curriculum, that's where we are with vaping. And
So we
I'm
don't
happy
do
to-
anything in 8th either?
No.
No, okay.
Again, nothing official. That doesn't mean that there aren't programs that schools run that are, outside of the curricular scope that might be more,
Because they have an
student assistance
assembly.
counselor.
Yeah, so that might be a
You
better
know, there's
opportunity too in
assemblies
middle
and
school
stuff
versus
that
the
are-
health.
yeah.
This is like the curriculum, the taught curriculum that
Okay.
that all students experience.
And I liked how you said in the beginning too, because it is not just, it's just choices, like this,
Yeah.
choices of many things that
Mhm.
the kids
A lot of
could do or not do.
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of stressors out there. A lot of experience that kids go through adolescence that contribute to an urge sometimes to make unhealthy choices. So we try to confront those and really be explicit with discussing them with kids.
Just out of curiosity, have you seen any sort of decrease in vaping use at all since Rhode Island banned the flavored stuff or anything like that? We'll say at the high school level. I mean, I would think that'd probably be the biggest.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Anecdotally, maybe a little, but it's been minimal. I would
Yeah.
say it's a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, it's a struggle, and it's a struggle everywhere. I've worked at a few different high schools, and it's been a struggle everywhere. It's an addictive substance, and it's a substance that is designed to be sort of like not detected, which makes it even more appealing to kids in a lot of ways. Kids who are making those poor decisions, so it's a challenge. So anecdotally, it's probably about the same. However, I also know this: most kids choose not to.
Right.
Most kids choose not to. It seems like most of them are, but they're not. Most kids make the right choice, the wise choice to not do it. However, sometimes the perception can feel like everyone is doing it. And that's an important thing to point out to kids, because a lot of times they think that everybody is doing it, when in reality, they're not. There happens to be a smaller minority of kids who make it seem like a lot are.
I know when Kayla was here at our last meeting from the North Kingstown Prevention Coalition, she was saying, even though there's a law, it's just, there's still places that are selling it, and it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to, figure out all those places, or, it's not as
And then online.
great as there's a law, yeah,
Right,
and then it's
yeah.
online, right, so
Oh,
she
yeah.
was saying, not to the negative, but she was just being truthful that, the law is great, but
Enforcement is hard.
enforcement is what's the hard part of it, so.
Yeah, when we were younger, I mean, cigarettes were a thing, but that's so hard to mask something like that where
Yeah,
the vape will just.
you couldn't be doing it at
it's
school, you
not-
would definitely get
it-
caught.
Yeah, I mean, not to sound blunt, but when a cigarette is, when you light up a cigarette, the whole hallway smells.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Vape is a different story. It's
Yeah.
much more. It's designed to not be detected.
Right.
But is it still I mean, I know in so many schools, it's just a problem still because kids are going into a bathroom and other kids, like you said, the majority aren't,
Mhm.
but they don't wanna go in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If there's a bunch of kids with vape, so even though maybe it was easier to detect the cigarette, and it's hard to detect who has them, because they can walk out, and how do you know, it's very hard to,
Mhm. That's a very significant concern, and I know it's a concern of mine, it's a concern of our school staff, building administrators, teachers and such, and is like that very thing there is, the last thing we want is for students to feel like they can't enter a bathroom. You know what I mean? That is a seriously problematic situation, for our students. We want them to achieve at high levels and do the kind of work that we want them to do. That can't be a part of their school experience. It's a constant struggle. It's a constant, and it is a small number of students who unfortunately often make the problem bigger than it seems. So.
Does anyone have any questions about?
well, hopefully with the policy was revised and then approved, right? The school committee approved it, what was the name of it, that would have the, smoke-free campus,
Like,
Yeah,
the one that
The
we
vaping
reviewed many
language?
times.
oh,
No.
no, that went
never
back
got
to the
passed,
policies
actually.
subcommittee, and
Okay.
so.
I'm just wondering if, and I
Not
know
really.
at the time, some of the student assistance counselors came, because we had been asking, what are they doing? I'm just wondering if that helps, because ultimately what you want is that minority
Mhm.
of students to get help and,
Yeah.
and kick their habit. I
Yeah.
mean, that's,
It's true, 'cause
ultimately
I feel like-
wanted.
Not that you, that, and that's why I feel like the younger the kids are talking, like, it's bad to do, like,
Yeah.
then once they get to the high school, it maybe like there's this minute percentage doing it, so the kids will go in the bathroom again and not be worried,
Mm.
Right, but this K through 5 curriculum is new, correct? When did
Yeah.
it,
Sounds
last
great.
year,
That's-
right?
Yep,
Was it
yep,
last
year,
year?
yeah.
Used to be.
So we
Middle
really
schools
need
didn't
to
even
see
talk about
in,
it
like,
elementary school.
when
Right.
those
Yes.
kids,
Or
because
the high school,
clearly
yeah.
this is front-loaded to the
Mhm.
younger,
Mhm.
so now's the time to track it, because they're getting this new health curriculum to see when they get to high school, is there an impact? I mean, that would be the
That's the hope,
spot, right?
that's the hope.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I mean, it's a
no, and I
hope,
agree.
Yeah.
because it's changed.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And so, yeah, that's the idea, is that you wanna make kids aware, as soon as possible, and give them facts about what it does to you, the effects it has on your health and your body and everything, and try to reinforce that message.
Well, even too, like having kids almost like choose the right choice, and then it's like the peer pressure saying like, no, we wanna do what's right versus, yeah,
Mhm.
so I think that even that, which is not exactly directly to vaping, but I think it's just good that the kids are discussing right from wrong and,
Mhm.
Positive.
yeah, so that more of the kids will be positive.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
I would also add this, and I know you mentioned this too, Sherry, kind of talking about this, but there are many groups, especially at the high school level, outside of the core curriculum that focus on, healthy decision-making. I know there's a group called VASA, which is Varsity Athletes Against
Yep.
Substance Abuse, that do a lot of work at the student level, really student-led activities that promote, anti-vaping, anti-drug, good choices, that kind of thing. So this is the curriculum, but there's a lot of programming that exists outside of that too.
Yeah, and it's almost like that you brought that up too. I remember when they were talking, like, figuring out a way, like, maybe they can also just come to the middle school and have the middle
Mhm,
school
yep.
athletes feel, you know what I mean? Like, be a little, because I do feel like kids are attributed to cell phone usage, like, they're just,
Really?
they know a lot more
Mhm.
younger than they used to,
They have a
even
lot of access.
probably like 5 years ago.
Yeah, they have a lot of access to the ads that are targeting
Right,
them
that are
and
targeting them
everything,
without them knowing.
Is
So.
there any plan to implement maybe 6th and 8th grade curriculum, since I feel like middle school probably be the time you kind of want to hit it as much as you can, I guess, before they get to.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely, take that under advisement. I think that, the way the curriculum was adopted, there was a specific kind of scope and sequence that the teachers wanted to lay out. I know there's other topics, obviously, that we cover in the curriculum. And again, I don't want to, there are certainly topics we cover that are outside of the scope of vaping, but there's a lot we talk about in terms of relationships, healthy relationships, things having to do with just proper communication. These things aren't vaping per se, but a lot of that those types of topics can, if they're not covered, it like creates the stressors that can lead to things like poor decisions with vaping and drugs and other things like that, so.
It spills over.
Yeah,
Like
there's
peer
a lot of,
pressure.
totally,
There's a lot of things, how
yeah.
do you refuse things when you feel peer pressure? Like, that's a skill you learn, but you could use it whether it's drugs or vaping
Mhm.
or
Exactly,
Yeah, and
sex or whatever.
yeah.
I do think the middle school only have my kids, like, they've done a lot of good assemblies.
Mhm.
I think sometimes though it's not, like, my kids are very talkative and tell me about it, but I don't know that all these kids are going home and telling their parents about how great this assembly was, so maybe just figuring out a way to communicate that
Mhm.
better home.
Yep,
Cause yeah, they had really two great ones I think they were both at Wickford and at DMS, that I think was getting the kids to talk about that stuff. Like, my girls came home and they were like having a conversation about right
I
from
feel
wrong.
like a lot of times, so it's in the letter from the, you know, like, maybe that is just a point to bring up to
Sure.
the principals when they send it out, hey, just throw in what the assembly of the week or month was.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that, I mean, people either are gonna read it or they're not. You
It's
can
true,
only
and
do
I'm
so
not-
much, but that, I do think that is helpful, cause then you kinda know,
And then you
Sure.
can ask them about it.
yeah.
Or
absolutely.
like give parents a couple of prompts, like question
Yeah.
prompts that they can ask their kid about the assembly, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah, that's a good idea,
Yeah.
'cause it's just a way
Start-
to, I think
start a
once you prompt the
conversation.
kid, they will talk.
Yeah, the more you can implement it at home or if you're coaching or anything like that, where you can be like, hey, you know, you don't wanna
Mhm.
do hey, that assembly that you went
Mhm.
to, you know, this is, you can
Yeah,
kinda
or just say, like-
just retouch on it, just to freshen it up in their brain.
Or
Mhm.
like for the kid who's totally stimulated in a assembly and just shuts down and isn't really listening.
Mhm.
Because there are those who
Oh,
don't
sure.
like to be in crowds and, you know,
Yep,
Yeah, or,
you know, you can at least supplement because
some
they might
topic.
have gotten the topic, but they really didn't
Mhm.
actually take anything out of it.
sure, all the
100%.
super
Because
social
it's hard to
kids
sit
who are
there
talking
with
to
all
their
your
friend next
peers
to them.
and, well, yeah. you're-
Yeah, I agree, like,
Sitting with all your peers can be,
Yeah, 'cause it's-
that can be
it's the whole
comfortable
school,
or
yeah.
uncomfortable for
Mhm.
kids.
yeah,
You know, and the point that's so important is the partnership between families and the school, you know,
Yes.
just making sure that there's communication happening, there's awareness happening in terms of, here's what we're, you know, the more that we can be on the same page with messaging, the better off, you know, the better our results are gonna see.
yeah.
Yep.
Alright. Alrighty. So the next thing I had was, so Kayla couldn't come from the North Kingstown Prevention Coalition, but she did send me the what is in the vapes, flyer,
Menu?
menu and stuff. Which is good, cause we, this kinda ties in, so Ally and I had meant to talk about like, wouldn't it be great if we could just get a kit for North Kingstown and like, I was also like, what if we could put it in the schools, like rotate it around every month? So I think this is a start, like, I think Ally and I after will try to figure out like the costing and stuff, cause they don't, like, there's not a cost to the kit, like I asked her about the, but I think it's just they buy all this stuff and put it all together in a kit, but not, it's not like a kit they buy from somewhere, I guess is probably.
And then I guess when they rent it from them, they have to go pick it up in Warwick, so it would be so much more accessible if we had our own, that we could just go.
Yeah, like I thought it would be great, and I was thinking too, like maybe somehow having it in like a shadow box or something that, if we could just put it on display at the school for like
Yeah.
a month, you know, and rotate it around, so I think when the kids are just walking in the hallway, they could look at it and see it and sort of be like, oh, you know, I don't know. Again, same thing with like, they're in the assembly, they might not be paying attention, but they're in the hallway and see something,
Right.
they might be like, oh, what is that, sort of thing. So, yeah, so I just thought it was great she sent this though, so we kind of know what's in here and stuff.
Did she have any idea what the cost was going to be, or would be?
No, because she said they don't,
Oh, this is, I mean, besides the frog, I mean, you can pretty much go
That's
grab
our
this stuff
sticking
on
point,
Post
is
Road,
the
so.
frog.
so I was laughing about the
Yeah.
frog.
Buy a rubber.
Right, that's right. So, oh, I didn't even notice.
Besides
Allie's
cost,
like, how are we gonna do the frog? And
I
I'm
know.
like,
Sherry,
The
do you have
dollar
another,
store.
Well, the frog
Sorry, I got it.
it's in the back, oh,
It's in the
sorry,
back?
it's in like
Okay.
the back of the thing.
Oh, there it is, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
so I just kinda wanted to talk to the
The
committee,
frog,
like,
see how we all talked about the frog? The frog is important.
Yeah. It is.
It is.
I say hair gel and a plastic frog, they'll never know.
yeah. No, it's true, like, we could do, I like the little big one.
That'll
So-
definitely have the
This is
most
good.
impact, for sure.
Yeah, so I think what we're gonna try to do, Ally and I are gonna try to work on like getting a cost to sort of
I can get that
put,
for you.
like, for everything, and then we can, because I do think,
Who made this?
oh, the North
Has
Kingstown
everyone-
Prevention Coalition.
Good.
I've seen this display, has anyone seen it physically?
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
what we heard.
It is
It
unbelievable.
was at the open house.
It was open house,
It was at the
but
open
that's why I
house.
was saying, I know this sounds ridiculous, but I'm like, we can't have it just all laying out, because I'm
Yeah,
sure
no,
kids will
it's-
take the, you know.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't-
I need nail polish.
But yes, but that's why I thought if we could figure out a way to put it in like an actual
So-
case
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something,
Yeah.
because then like we could actually keep it. But yes, I've seen it and it's pretty
It's amazing.
and
It's
packed.
Did
so
they empty them
powerful.
all, like the
Yeah,
items? or-
yes, I
Yeah,
think
so they were just the
so.
Mhm.
So
That
I
work.
gas.
Yeah,
I
I'm sure my
can
husband probably has a lot of
obtain the
garage.
material, like, I can find the prices, and then if this is approved, I could go get the materials and get a storage container, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can spearhead this pretty easily.
I could donate probably half the stuff from work.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I can get you, yeah.
So we
I
have
can get
a-
you antifreeze,
So you-
gas.
I mean, I can
get
donate nail
crew,
polish remover from
cell
my
phones,
bathroom.
that.
You probably
Yeah.
just need all, just the empty container.
Yes,
Sure,
yeah.
we do,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
didn't.
Sure.
And I'm gonna say this, I didn't think it was something like the school committee has approved amounts of money for different committees, and like, I don't think this would be like an obnoxious amount anyways, to even have it, so.
I think you just size, like, you know, could you get away with just having the label? Just
that's a good
because,
idea,
you know,
too.
like the
Yeah.
antifreeze label, because that's a big
It's
model, right?
I think
not
the
as
items are more
powerful.
impactful.
I think it's more
But it
impactful,
is
yeah.
powerful. You have to have the
But then are
objects.
you
Even
gonna
if
have
they're
the
empty,
items
you-
in something or for them to touch? Like, I mean, I don't know.
We can bring in the jugs.
So I know, and this is just one suggestion from my past, is that we had when I was in South Kingston, we had a prevention coalition that was actually in our building. They had like a cart, like a wheel cart with these items on it that would be like, it would just like, they'd wheel it into the cafeteria at lunch. You know what I mean? Kinda not, you know, the thing you wanna be thinking about when eating probably, but like, it was like a way where like kids would see a visual of the things we're talking about, like on a cart, and it would be like,
Yeah,
just a thing that would be like a presence in the hallway sometimes when kids were passing between classes. They would just kinda take it out at different
Times to put it out.
yeah, just, you know, that was,
That
One.
might be a good idea,
Yeah.
cause I
Yeah.
feel like if you put it in something, like, you're gonna have size issues, I think.
Well, that's why I was,
That's a good idea.
yeah.
Oh, so you're thinking, yeah, cause
Yeah,
the
because
jug-
like,
Yeah,
how
it's
are
gonna be
you
a lot
gonna
of
fit
space.
that,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's like a cabinet,
Yeah,
I don't know. So that, the cart sounds like a good
Yeah.
idea.
If I could make if I could just have another thought. So another thing I remember learning about from the Prevention Coalition was they talked about how making students aware of the long-term effects of substance use, but also the short-term effects of substance use, like how it affects them right now, can be really impactful on kids. As we know, anyone with kids, like adolescents, like their brain sometimes doesn't see that far ahead.
it does not.
So right in the moment is kind of sometimes the most effective, in terms of like, hey, if you're, just for instance, if you're an athlete, you know, this is what this is gonna do to your body, it's gonna, and how it's gonna impact your ability to be athletic, ability to perform. If you wanna be a good student, if you're a good student, this is what it does to your brain to affect your academics, you know, right now. So I don't know if that's something to think about, like just like the immediate effects in addition to the,
And like kinda added to this, I kinda
Yeah.
like that, cause it's sort of,
I know there was a movie, I think it was Missouri, just adopted to show to all of their kids, but it was talking about THC, and it was showing actual pictures of the brain before and after, how kids actually lose brain matter, like
Mhm.
permanent brain matter loss. And like something like that would be impactful for
Yeah.
them to see.
it's kinda like the cigarettes with the lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
kids,
Yeah.
you know, like,
They bring the
they're like the
lungs in.
before and it.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
before and after.
Oh, I like that, cause I feel like maybe having visuals along
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the content
You
would
need
sort of.
you need the shock value of it to really let it sink in, like, whoa. there's
Well, it's almost like
gas
if you
in
put
it.
this in, then this is gonna, yeah, you're right, like I think
Yeah.
if you're just saying like, oh, cause the vaping, or even any it just seems innocent, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna do it once, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, and like, you know, the message to kids, you know, if you wanna be a varsity athlete, if you wanna work hard every day, go to practice and work hard every day and bust your tail and do, and then puff a vape on the weekends, this is what it's gonna do, it's gonna take away all that work that you're putting in. It's gonna negatively impact all this. Or your studies. If you want to be a straight A student, you want honor society, you want to do these things, this is gonna directly impact that.
How about even having, I can remember that there was years ago, there was talk about this after the Rhode Island Student Assistance Survey. To your point, the majority of students are not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in adolescence, you think, am I the only one? I don't wanna be different, I wanna fit in,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I need to do this to fit in, my friends are doing this. But to actually let them know that whatever percentage, meaning the majority of kids at the school do not do this,
Mm-hmm.
like, that can be effective too. There's a
Mhm.
word for it, like cultural norming or something like
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
that really the majority of students are not, so feel good about yourself. You're doing, because what you really wanna do, and I agree, all this is great in the younger, cause it's preventing. You
Mhm.
may have an issue now, and you're
Mhm.
gonna have to address that, but those
Mhm.
kids are already addicted. You're gonna have to help them, or
Mhm.
hopefully their families understand why it's harming them. But
Mhm.
what you wanna make sure is that you're not having those numbers again, that those are dwindling because of the education. But I think maybe that's something too, along with this, is to
Yeah.
have, like, did you know, like, whatever percentage, I don't know, or not,
Is
is that
that
an
good-
effective
that
thing?
survey we
Good
just
job
had
for
last
not
night,
Gonna say, what
does
are
that go by the school?
Does that go?
Like, could we get, so there was like last night this Rhode Island
Yeah.
student
Student
survey that
survey,
has
yeah.
all this stuff in it. Like, could you say like, okay, at,
Right.
you know, at the high school, it's 2% of kids, because it asks the question, do you
Yeah.
vape?
Yep.
Right.
Does it go down by the school level?
In terms of the data that we collect, I'd have to look.
Okay,
They do
because I was
the
just thinking that could be a place where
But
we,
it's
Yeah.
available, cause they did a presentation after the one 2 years ago.
right, so
like,
I'm wondering if it
whatever
goes
the
down,
current
I didn't know if it went down to
data
the
is,
school
yep.
level or
Remember-
the district, okay.
But
We-
it doesn't matter, I mean, either one would be impacted.
I know they asked the
But I was
kids.
thinking at the school, I agree,
Yeah.
because maybe like,
I,
oh,
I do know they asked the kids questions about, you know, have you used this product within the last, whatever it is, 30
Yeah.
days or anything like that. And so that's data that we could look at, for sure. And we could see that comparatively to the last time it was taken. So,
Or just to publish with this, so
Mhm.
kids know that if it is whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they say, when you were saying sixth grade, typically they say it's the summer, or no, is it the summer before high school, the summer of eighth grade? I'm forgetting which one, where that gets tricky, where kids kind of start to, it's just developmentally, take risks and, you know, whatever. But like, if you know, kids are scared maybe going to middle school, like what, but if you know, like, no, the majority of kids don't vape.
mhm.
You know, that there are, but so don't feel like, oh my God, you know, I'm gonna look like a loser, or I'm not, you know.
yeah, no,
how
I
am
know what you're
gonna-
saying.
You
Yeah.
know, that
There's-
you're part of the majority that are making the right decision.
Yes, and there could also be a perception that that sometimes kids think that you need to do it to have fun,
Yes, right.
you know? And so reversing that, I think talking directly about that, like, most kids choose not to do it, and you can have you're gonna have more fun,
And are having fun. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because that becomes you know, just a stereotype, you know, that's not true.
But that's true, that's another developmental thing. You think
Mhm.
everybody else is doing something, and that's what sort of, why kids make poor decisions.
Right.
All right, I think we kind of now can move into, I'm gonna put this on Ally, who's gonna talk about, kind of like stuff we were talking about with like the, art contest, and then she had, I'm gonna have you do that first, and then she's gonna talk about the Guitar Wars, or even other brainstorming ideas of stuff we could bring to the school, schools.
So going along, piggybacking on what Rob is saying about educating. So I met with the, we decided to start this at the middle school. And then we can scale out if this works, you know. So I met with the SAC from Davisville. I have a meeting with the SAC. We've been going back and forth through email, but we're actually meeting face to face tomorrow morning at 10 for the Wickford Middle School. And so the way we were kind of batting around a lot of ideas on how to present this, and what we sort of, where the needle fell, is if we could get this, you know, what's in a vape presentation together, the SACs and I would visit the lunches. We'd set it all up on the stage, and I think that these additional ideas of just posters that would be around with the percentages and, you know, like you were saying, the effects if you're an athlete, we could just really do that all around the table. The SACs said that they would absolutely join so that they could be there to inform, because obviously it's not my wheelhouse, so kids might ask a question that I don't know the answer to. And so they're there to, you know, field questions, inform, educate. and we were going to show the kids that presentation and then present our anti-vaping poster contest rules. So we're just going to do it all in lunches, so it doesn't intervene with curriculum or anything. It doesn't interrupt anything like that. The other piece that we were saying is if we had the CTE sort of develop the poster parameter flyers, we could get our, our graphic arts kids involved in this, and I'm sure they can develop something pretty cool. We can hand the flyers out with the parameters to the students that want to, just do the poster contest. The last piece that we're still trying to suss out is materials for those that may not have materials. So we're just trying to figure out, we've got to have kids, we've got to buy some materials for the poster contest, and kids can maybe check in and check out the art supplies if they don't have any. So that's the last piece that we're trying to suss out. But this is kind of where we wanted to go with it. So now I think we're at the point where we just have to kind of start by collecting the materials for the what's in the vape. Like, all the people are on board, the principals are on board. They were even saying, I know Marissa Eisner from DMS was saying she could even, once we have like the parameters, put them on the Jumbotron, and she could just flash up the stats that we gave her, so kids walk by that and read it all the time. She was willing to put it in the parent newsletter. So, everyone's really on board with trying to get this going and trying to advertise this. So that's where we're at there.
And then the other thing we had talked about too was maybe trying to see if the high school could do stickers. Because the kids put all these stickers. So I was laughing. My daughter came home with, and it was cool.
It was like this cool sticker about like no tobacco, no nicotine, and it was from part of a Rhode Island. It was the Rhode Island Regional Coalition, wasn't it? Because it's right at the bottom of the page.
But it was funny that and they have all these stickers. So I was like, oh, maybe we could also just
put a sticker in the
maybe
flyer.
put some sort of sticker about whatever's going on, or just because the kids have it on there. And so I feel like it's kind of the same thing. All these kids have it on their computer, and might be like, oh, all right, we're all more on the side of not doing this than doing it. So
and subliminal messaging.
Of course, only one of my twins put the sticker on.
So yes, we were saying we could put the stickers in the flyers, and then even if you're not participating, you still have the sticker. Kids
to just sort of talk about it.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
That's all right. It just came to my head.
Yeah, so that's, I think it's just a matter of, if everyone's on board with that, and the principals, and, I think it's just a matter of now collecting the materials for the What's in the Vape and getting some dates on the calendar.
Yeah, and then just sort of approving it through, I assume we have to approve it. Do we have to approve it through the school committee, or if we don't need money, approval? Is it just you and Dr. Duba?
So we're talking about like a budget for this?
So we might need a little money, but I don't know if it's that much.
Just for
So, I guess if we have to, we'll ask the school committee for
Okay.
some funding,
That doesn't
but.
sound like
It's
it would
only
be
like
something that
over
would
a
be like.
certain amount.
Yeah.
It's over a certain.
So I
certain
don't think it would be
amount. So
that
this
much
is-
money, so.
No.
Alright.
Yeah, there's no way.
Depending on how much
I could get half the stuff donated.
Yeah, I just,
That's
Yeah.
awesome, actually, and I need to get your email.
Like
address so
tomorrow,
I can-
I'm not good as in shipyard.
You're
I'm
like,
pretty
it goes
sure,
off, you.
I'm pretty sure I
I have all
have the
this stuff.
entire, most
so
of
we
this
have-
And
list.
if there was anything
Except
that
for the nail
we
polish.
needed to purchase, like small amounts, we could do that through my office.
Okay, that's fine. I wasn't
Awesome.
sure on
And
the
empty,
amount.
right? We want empty. We're not,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get you a full can of gasoline. to
No,
blow
no,
down
no,
the school
no,
there.
please don't.
No, I don't think we're allowed to.
You don't have a 55-gallon drum of crude oil, right?
I don't think the fire marshal would like any of those ideas.
Do you think the science teachers might have
Some of this stuff, like
Formaldehyde?
formaldehyde, or one of the colleges they want to get rid of? If they're,
I know who to ask at TMS.
because I think something real.
Miss
Like,
G.
Science
Smith.
department would.
Yeah.
You're right. I can ask her.
Ah, that's
Yeah,
good.
science
That's
department.
I'll ask Miss G.
That's a great idea.
She'd probably be all over that.
Oh, yeah,
She might be like, I can get you a frog.
yeah.
She said, "You want a frog? You want a
Put
mouse?"
it in the. Yeah.
Awesome.
She all right. So is everyone? Maybe we should. Could we just
Move
take a
forward
look?
with that?
Good with that? Does anyone have any
Questions, concerns?
questions, concerns?
No?
I just,
Sounds good.
just want to reiterate the importance of just having the art supplies for anyone
Yes.
to use, the hands-on art supplies,
Yes.
if they don't want to use their laptop to create something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to figure out how to where they could come get the stuff.
I might even just, we're trying to find people that they can check in and check out with, but we're not getting a lot of participation. But even if I show up and have a table and sign them out to kids, and then the kids can return them to the office and I can pick them up, you know what I mean? So that, we'll be able to hash that out.
Yeah, or just,
Yeah, so I feel badly if they like miss that day or something, you know. We'll figure that part out, but we'll definitely have, just so it's equitable, because I know there are gonna be kids that want to participate that don't
Everything
have.
else is the easy part.
Yeah.
yes, it is, I know.
So perfect. So we're gonna move forward with that. The other piece of education, so this is for middle school that we're focused on for the anti-vaping poster project. But for elementary schools, one of our principals brought up at an ad council meeting that he had Brown University Health coming to his school to do Tar Wars, which is a program they're doing it it's typically meant for 3rd through 6th, but Brown University Health just focuses on 4th and 5th graders. But they come to the elementary schools, it's free, and they do like a 30 to 40 minute presentation on anti-vaping. So we've set that up, well, I am in the process of, we have our meeting tomorrow to schedule. So we're already, all the elementary school principals are on board. The woman from Brown University Health has been amazing, and so she's like, yeah, the more the merrier. So I think she's gonna kind of crash course our district for a week and just hit all the elementary schools so that everybody has the same messaging. And what I can do is come up with some prompt questions, like 2 or 3 questions that maybe principals can put in that newsletter, like, hey, ask your kids this about the presentation today. Because you know, if you ask a 3rd grader, how was the presentation? Fine. You're not gonna get any more information, so I can definitely do that. So that's coming in March.
I'm glad to hear that this is, this Tar was available years ago, and we used it for years and years for the 5th graders.
Yeah?
And a guest physician used to come in, and it was, they came in several times, like 2 or 3 times, and then there was a poster contest, and you know, you would go to there would be a judging on a Saturday, and it was at one of the schools in Providence, and it was really a great program. And then it went away for a while, so or I don't know, it just wasn't publicized. This was like a group, like Rhode Island physicians group, and you know.
So maybe Brown University Health took it over?
I don't know. I just haven't heard much about it in the past, say, 10 years.
We're bringing it back.
Yeah, because it was a good program.
Was it? Great.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it. I saw a
it was
little
so
promo
exciting
video,
because
but
it was a physician there.
Yeah.
And they had questions, and yeah, it was good.
absolutely.
And I think to our earlier point, making sure that we have, communication, like, I guess, consistent, like, between school to school about going home afterwards and making sure, parents are aware and just to
I can-
have that supplemental thing.
Yeah, I'll totally spearhead that.
Yeah, and I think the principals, it'll be easier too, like if it's just, hey, could you send this, and it's the
That's
same
it.
thing, so they don't have to think about what to
Copy paste.
Paste.
Yep,
to type
copy
out, because I
paste.
feel like, sometimes I think that's the little stressor sometimes.
Yeah,
I was even like, do you want it? Okay, I'll schedule it. Because I was so afraid that some would and some wouldn't schedule, so.
So Ally, are you scheduling?
I am.
with
We're
all the schools?
Yep.
Oh, okay, so it's
Yep.
already being done.
It's already being done.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, great.
That tomorrow at 10, it will be done. We are just picking the times and the dates. I
Ask Nicole about Tar, but if I don't have.
No, I got all the, already got all the non-negotiable times from all the schools, so.
And Ally, if you could just share when they're going to be there.
Absolutely.
I would love to just pop into a school during the week and see what it is. what's
Absolutely.
going on.
We'll do. Right now, it's slated for 3rd week of March, but I'll give the specifics, like of what school
Great,
and what time.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put just brainstorming ideas, because it made me think when Ally brought that, like, well, what if one of us thought of something, and like then we could sort of figure out how to do it, like if we hear of stuff. So no pressure about knowing it right now, but I feel like it's something that this committee, I don't know, I think we're good at like figuring out ways for people to do stuff, so.
And if you think of something later, please always just shoot me an email like, hey, I had an idea. You know what I mean? So just, I'm very open to any of that feedback, and we can kind of run with it.
All right, and then the next one is, Ally's gonna talk about the screenagers.
Screenagers. So this is
Project.
evolving. It's evolved since we first talked about it and put it on the agenda. So I did learn that the Screenagers project came to this district 3.5 years ago, I guess Kenny was saying. I'm not sure if anyone is familiar. It was originally, it's like a movie presentation, and it's for parents. about their child's social media use, because there's so much stuff that students can do on those
Sounds
phones that
great.
parents have no idea,
Yeah, that's awesome.
right?
I mean, off the bat.
Well, it kind of took on a life of its own then, because what I recognized here as I was doing the pricing is that we could get one movie for a pretty decent price, or for sort of a higher price. They have access, they've got a new elementary movie, so they would give you like 3 screenings, one for each level. They give you supplementals, they give you materials for parents. So if we can't do that, then I would still follow through with just the movie, which is something we could probably afford. But I did draft up a grant, so I want to try to get some money and I had to sort of add on to that grant. So I think we're thinking about doing like a 3-part wellness series for the community, so for the parents. So the first part of it would be Screenagers. The second part, I spoke with the Parent Services Network of Rhode Island, and they're willing to come and do a presentation on parents navigating their child's anxiety and depression and school avoidance, which is something that I think we're impacted by definitely at the secondary level. And then I put a third one in there, but I haven't submitted the grant yet, so I'm definitely open to suggestions. The third one I was thinking was Hidden in Plain Sight. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that program, where they set up a fake bedroom, and so you do it somewhere like, community center, library, what have you. They don't need a lot of space, and they set up like a fake kid's bedroom, and they show you all the places that your child can hide drugs that you would never know if you just walk into their bedroom, or things like one of the things that you have to spot is there's X-Lax on the nightstand, and you maybe wouldn't think about anything like that as a parent, but they're like, that could be the sign of an eating disorder. So they really do walk parents through some pretty important stuff. So that was the third one. I know that since COVID moved that program to virtual, but the virtual one's not that easy to navigate. So I'm still going back and forth with the person that I need to speak with has been out on vacation. And so I'm still waiting for that person to come back so I can see if we could do like a tangible hands-on one. But if not, I would maybe just ask a facilitator to come and do the walkthrough, like, virtual one with parents. So
I
that's,
think the Hidden in Plain Sight, don't they do that at open house at the high school? I thought I remembered that at all the
Do
open
that?
houses.
I'm
That was something they could go in if your kid had like a study period, you could go into the Hidden. I thought they had it set up.
that would be great if they still do it
That sounds cool if we could do that during.
physically, yeah.
Physically
So the
done.
parents could walk in and see it.
Yeah, it's so much more impactful when you can like walk in and see it and touch the stuff, like something that
Yeah.
looks like a Coke can, but really you take the bottom off and it hides drugs, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's just readily available to the kids.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where that evolved to. So if I can get the money, I would really like to do that series. If not, if I don't get approved for the grant, I do think that maybe even just a single showing of Screenagers is really valuable. And if that's the case, I don't know, we were kind of talking about timeline. It might be nice to try to do that before the summer because the kids are going to be home all summer with their devices. You know what I mean? So that's sort of, it's up in the air. I'm sure I'll have way more information for you guys by our next meeting.
Is that something you could do where you could send a link out where the parents would have access to that if they couldn't make like the one showing?
So, only if you buy
The buy-up
the
package?
subscription, yes,
Okay.
not, so if it's a one night showing, no. If it isn't, then yeah, they
And
have
just
it.
Send a link out, put the
You
code
can watch
in
it on your own, you
yeah.
can access the materials, yeah.
It's so much more accessible that way. I
Yeah.
can't remember how many years ago it was pre-COVID, and it was, I think it might have even been in North Kingston, or maybe East Greenwich at a church. The Prevention Coalition sponsored it, and it just wasn't. It's a great film.
It's so
And I will
good,
say, in
yeah.
addition to, and I'm thinking all of those resources, she has something. Rustin Delaney, Dr. Delaney, the physician who started this many years ago, recognizing both the mental health impacts of all this screen time. But now they have, she has a, what do they call it, tech, a blog that comes out, Tech Tuesdays. They're so good talking about the impact on sleep. They have a number of, they do there's resources right on the website on how to, in your community, start it's called Away for the Day. Now, I know everyone here has to have a policy on no cell phones in school, but even trying to get parents to think about their own usage and modeling for kids. So she really talks about all of the effects, like you say, you know, how it's really impacting your sleep if you have that phone, you know, in your room. So she brings on really good guests, and I just think some of those resources would be great for parents. But it's hard to get people to come out on a single night.
What is
Just
the
think,
age that this is directed towards?
So, the original one was directed towards secondary. However, they just came out with an elementary version, and I think that that's more focused
on
on,
anxiety.
yeah, and
What my thoughts are, thinking out of the box, is because you're framing this with the community, which I think is fantastic for all ages, is how the town used to do the movies, I don't know if they still do, the movies on the beach, and showing it right at the town beach, on the stage.
They usually do that in the summer.
Yeah, but they mentioned they wanna do it right before summer.
Right.
if
Yeah.
we can't get the grant funding, if we get the grant funding, I think we'd have to pump the brakes on it, just because I wanna make sure that we can get, you know, everybody on board, make sure we roll it out the right way. That's a great idea. Thank you.
You'll get more people.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
I don't know if you've ever gone down to the town beach alley, but you'll have to take a
Haven't.
ride.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a-
it would be.
There's a stage there and
Yeah, that
everything
show, yeah.
where they show movies during the summer.
They're
it's a
well
great spot.
attended.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are well attended, because people go
That's
just to
a
see
great
each other.
idea to get people there. Yeah.
And there were, when I went to see it, and I've seen all of them, I think,
Yeah.
but the older one, there were young people there too. It's not like they shouldn't see it or they can't see it, you know what I mean? So,
Very true, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and now I
some
feel like
parents
kids have
brought their
cell
kids
phones
with
even
them.
younger than they used to.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well,
it makes sense why they came out with an elementary school one.
So I know, like, we're worried about the cell phones, but I think also, so we take these away during the day, but the kids are still on screens with the laptops, so to me, they're still on the screens, and since we've implemented them in elementary school, has there ever been a thought about maybe, like, I don't know, they just came in when my kids were in elementary, like, backing away from that at the elementary level?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard from people on this
Yeah.
a few times, and there's a lot of I think there's a lot of research being done about that and things like that. I'm open. I really am. I'm open to it. I think sometimes the tech is too much.
Yeah.
I think that sort of like reversing some of the momentum that's been just sort of started everywhere in school districts might be challenging, but I also think it's like, how much are kids opening their screens during the school day? Like, yes, we do give them a device, and yes, they're used to that. So that's become for them just a natural part of the school experience. But maybe looking at, well, how often are they on? You know what I mean? How often are those kids actually looking at screens?
Like during the day.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even
Because-
I will
It's a lot.
It's funny, like I feel like too, I love when my kids actually get paper,
Yeah.
like math paper to come
Well, and
home
real
to
books.
do. Yeah, I mean, so it's funny, like one day when they came home with it, like I remember it was even sixth grade, I'm like, oh God, like they're still, like
Yeah.
it's not just doing the,
I can tell you
online
this,
stuff?
you know, I just so happen to be doing some classroom walkthroughs with principals the last couple of weeks, and like, you know, you go into classrooms, and the best lessons you see, the most engagement you see from kids is when they're not using this. You know, or when they're using this only as like a supplement to what is actually, you know what I mean, being taught. So like,
Right.
they really want more of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't want this as
Because I
far
feel like
as
I've talked to either kids that are out of high school and teachers, and they're like, this is great, I get, because you'll get more social interaction. But if you really don't want kids on the screens, you have to think about how we're presenting the information again.
Yeah.
If they're constantly on there, so in a sense, it's almost a joke to have the policies, because they're always going to be in front of a
Yeah.
screen too.
Like
So-
the children,
Right.
I mean, children are on screens way before school, school age too.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
already on there,
true.
3 years old, 4 years old.
Sorry, I have to go, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
fine,
really
no,
sorry, I have
that's
to get up early, I just,
on anything
let me know anything, okay? Yeah, I'm
What
really
was the
sorry, everyone,
sec-
I have to step out, okay?
The second group that was presenting, you were thinking about for the anxiety
Oh, yeah, that's Parent Services Network of Rhode Island.
parent services.
And they actually, the great thing about them is they have sort of like you know, like a series that they do, but they will work with you to tailor it for exactly what you need. And I think that's fantastic. They do a lot of parenting classes and stuff like that. I think they've got like a good dad series going on right now. Like it's, yeah, so I, just to get their name out there too,
Yeah.
they're such a powerful resource. I just learned about them
Yeah.
like, in researching all this stuff, but they're a really powerful resource. So, yeah, and I think it's tough when you're a parent and your child has anxiety and they're crying every morning before school, and you know, I think that's a lot of our attendance barrier.
So who do you submit the grant to?
So I submitted I haven't submitted yet,
No, but
the
when you-
29th. It is, Rhode Island something foundation. I don't have it with me,
Oh.
right? Oh, I
Is it-
have it on
the
my
Rhode
computer.
Island
Foundation?
It's the Rhode Island Foundation, Rhode Island
Oh,
Foundation.
that's good.
Yeah, that's what it
Love
is.
that
They have a
Thank
lot
you.
of money.
They do.
They have a lot of money.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I
And-
chose for the lower end of what their spectrum was, so
Yeah,
I was
that
hoping
was
that
good.
would like give me they'll be like, oh, she's not asking for
How much is it, how much is the request?
that. 20,000.
Okay.
I asked for 20,000, but it went up to 150, so I
Right,
thought,
yeah.
you know, it's like, what was that game show, Price is Right, where you bet like $1 more? That's what I'm going for.
No, that's great.
So hopefully, but there's,
Yes.
the woman that I spoke with, because I wanted to make sure that we were eligible before I wrote the whole thing, she said it's really competitive, so my
It
fingers
is.
are crossed.
Once you get in there though, you know,
Yeah?
it's good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, because I feel like we always have lots of ideas. So I have to thank Alex. I feel like she sort of has figured out ways that maybe we can do a lot of the stuff I feel like we've been talking about on the committee. But, you know, it's always
Action.
having people to execute it and find the money.
These are the things that keep me up at night.
So, all right. Does anyone have any other questions about stuff or? All right. Our next meeting is Thursday, March 19th, 2026, which is crazy. All right. So, can someone make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
It's so funny how different schooling is now. Like I think like my kids, we didn't have cable. Like we had PBS and it was only on for a half hour. You know, like so there wasn't even that.
We had 3